you wanna be somebody, even if you gotta leave somebody. Yes, I'm hurt, yes, I'm dead. Most things that I don't wanna say. I won't be around while you.
Hey you guys, welcome back to Taylor XO, or welcome to Taylor XO if you are a new subscriber. So y'all, I really don't usually like to do videos just nitpicking every single thing, and I usually tell you guys that always prior to doing videos like this, just because I feel like a lot of people take the things that these reactors say as in, we nitpick and bully and do all these things to these mothers. But, a lot of the reactors that do react to these moms are moms, themselves. I'm a mom myself. And, a lot of the things that we see are things that, may be happening in our everyday life with our kids, or like how these moms' kids react, our kids react, or just, little things, we happen to see, we do tell our opinion on it. And like I always say, we do not make up, or at least I speak for myself, we do not make up anything that these mommies do. What we do is we just, share our opinion and thoughts on what we see that these, mommies post. So Jazzy posted a video, and basically, it was like a talking video. She was talking throughout the video. And I just found this, this clip that she put in here speaking about Ava's parent-teacher conference that she had with the teachers. I just have found very, very strange. And let's get into it. Here's the clip. And after that, we will get into talking about, my thoughts and opinions on this.
Really good. Her only concern was Ava. Is not getting... She's getting enough sleep. She's just not, I don't know. I personally think Ava's not eating breakfast at school. So the days that they eat breakfast, because she said some days she's good in the morning and some days she's not. And I feel like those days that she's good is whenever I cook breakfast. So I might have to just make her breakfast every morning. That way, she has the energy she, needs for school. God, what do I do with my keys? Here they go. But overall, Ava's doing really good, and that's really good to hear. Everything is just good. I'm proud of my little girl. She said that Ava's really sweet. She's like one of the sweetest ones, and she comes in and give her hugs and stuff. But y'all know how Ava is. Ava is that sweet, darling little baby. But I need to go back home because Chris has to go to work. And
so in this clip, she was basically speaking on how she had a parent-teacher conference with Ava's teacher, and basically they were speaking on how Ava's been doing in school, and which is very normal. Some people had said that this was not a regular parent-teacher conference, that they do believe that the teacher did call her in for this specific reason about Ava. So I don't know what to think. I mean, we know that these mommies lie so much, but I don't know what to think, whether this was something that was, a typical parent-teacher conference that usually comes up, after a certain period of time in school, or this was a reasoning for, for the teacher specifically wanting her to come in because of this with Ava. So basically, she was explaining that the teacher was concerned about Ava because Ava is very tired and just seems very kind of like a lethargic, that's not the word that she used, but I'm sure, that's how Ava is, because that's how Ava always is in the videos. For a while now, and I don't know if people have peeped this about Ava, because usually Ava is always in the background. She's not very talkative, not as hyper and, wanting to be seen like the other kids. But she definitely, is a child that I look at and just think, there's something wrong. She seems very to herself, very, frail, and just always just so, out of energy, and just seems so out of it. And I know people say, oh, you're pushing it, you're dragging it, that's not how she is. She's a child. Maybe sometimes she's tired, this and that. But people will make every excuse for the people that they like, that they're a fan of, or, that they support. And I understand that some of the, subscribers and people that support Jazzy will come on here and say, oh, you're nitpicking, them kids are loved. They eat, they're healthy, they're this, they're that. But, true mothers who have children and, they feed them every day, and, sometimes kids get sick, and we understand that. And, we know the things that can happen to kids. But when it becomes an ongoing thing to where it's just constantly like, there's something wrong with this child, or it just seems as though, she's just constantly out of it, like, or it just comes to a point to where it's just like, okay, well, is there any point in time where she's energetic, or, she's being a child and doesn't seem just so frail and, out of it. And we all know that Jazzy gives these kids melatonin, and it has been said that she does give these kids a higher dose of melatonin than they are supposed to be getting. So she did also say that, Ava is possibly not getting enough sleep at night. And I will say that these kids are only 4 years old. I mean, I could see if these kids were 8 to 10 years old, but they are only 4 years old. So if you do believe that your child is not getting enough sleep, why aren't you checking on her throughout the night to maybe figure out what is she doing that's causing her to be up all the time at night? I mean, she has said, and it was in a recent live, it was said that the kids go to bed at 7:30 at night and they're waking up at 6 to 7 o'clock in the morning. So I'm not understanding how she's not getting enough sleep. I mean, I could see if maybe she was going to sleep at 9 or 10 and waking up at 5 or 6 in the morning, but there should be no reason why she's so, not getting any sleep when especially her bedroom is right next to Jazzy. So, if she is up all night, she should be going to check on her and see what is going on. Now, maybe it could possibly be that now she moved Amaya into Ava's room. Maybe they're up more playing around at night, fooling around at night, because it just seems like that wasn't said until she moved Amaya into the room. But I very so much do think that Ava is not being fed enough. These kids are not, fed the right foods, fed of the right amount enough, and I truly think it is taking a toll on their bodies. And especially with Ava, I do think that she already is a smaller built girl, and the fact that she doesn't get enough food, it makes it even worse on her. And she also went on to say that she noticed on the days that she doesn't cook breakfast for them, that she has them eat breakfast at school, that she's even more of low energy. Now, sis, if you know that Ava is more energized when you cook her a nice breakfast before school, then why not get up every morning and at least just make something warm, even if it's heating it up in the microwave. Get her a good amount of food that's heated up so she could have a good day at school. If you know that she's not properly going to school and getting school lunch as she should, then why not just make her breakfast at home every day? That doesn't make any sense to me. You're a stay-at-home mother. You have more than enough time, and you're already up at that time anyway, because I'm sure Legend is up and the other kids have to go to school. So it literally makes no sense as to why she cannot make them poor babies some hot breakfast to go to school and have a nice full belly and ready to start the day, be energized. I really question when people are seriously going to take the health of these children seriously, because it just seems like everything is blown off, and it just seems like, oh, well, she's had CPS called on her, nothing was done, she's a good mother, that's it. But are people really looking at the well-being of these children? It just seems like it's always something new with these kids. There's constantly something wrong. There's constantly a reason they have to stay home from school. There's constantly a teacher saying something. And I don't know at this point if teachers are starting to notice that something possibly could be going on in the home. So they wanted to interview Jazzy before they maybe, made their final statement as to what they may think is going on. It could be a lot of reasons why, they called her in. But I would think that would be a matter that she could just call her about. I don't know if there was more said in the conference that Jazzy won't tell, but I just think already, sis, why would you come on here and speak on something like that when, you were the reasoning for this child coming to school constantly tired and falling asleep? Even teachers had said something about Amaya falling asleep during school. So clearly she's just putting these kids to bed and saying good night, closing the door, and never looking back again until the morning time when they have to get up. Sis, you have to check on these kids, especially if they have school that they have to get to in the morning and they're up playing around. It takes you 2 seconds in that small house to get up and just check on those babies and make sure they're sleeping well for school the next morning. That just tells me that you don't even care enough to even just get up and open a door slightly to check on to see if your kids are up or sleeping. They have to go to school, they have to get a good night's rest. So if that is the case, sis, you should be making sure that you're making sure that the children are sleeping a whole night's through, or at least checking on them at some point, not just throwing them to bed, closing the door, and saying that's it. Now, this whole thing with Ava out of energy and not, it really is questionable. I don't know if she's still giving these kids melatonin at night. I don't know what she is doing. But either way, I just think it is still all neglect that she refuses to get these kids the help they need and give them the resources and the time and the energy to really thrive in school and in life, period. But she will figure it out soon enough, and it will get only tougher and tougher for her when these kids get, higher and higher in the grades in school. But thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below what you guys think. Is it reaching, or do you really think that, Jazzy is the cause for Ava, falling asleep in school and just looking so frail and have energy and just not herself? Or do you think that, she is properly doing what she needs to do as a mother so her kids can thrive in school? Comment down below. Thank you guys so much, and stay tuned for another one.
Tell me what you see in me. Gotta be something different.